Hi everybody, welcome to Insider Yachting. This is the full-length review for Felix, the 65-foot Grand Banks. Now we have put all of this information together in our Yacht Pack. It's available, just click over on the right-hand side, the Yacht Pack button, leave your name and email address, and we'll get all this good stuff off to you right away. We've already created them, they're ready to go. In fact, we've created a Yacht Pack for every boat that's on the market. It's full of the photographs, the detailed descriptions, the full specifications, some other bits and pieces of information that we can find out about the boat. It's one of those ready to go for every boat. So if there's anything that you're interested in seeing a little more detail on, then just over on the right, the Yacht Pack button, the name of the boat, your name, your email address, and we'll shoot that off to you right away. Now we do these reviews every week. If you want a brief notification sent via email of when the latest reviews are up and ready to be watched, then just down below click on the Be the First to Know button and we'll send you those quick emails when the latest reviews are up. So let's get started on today's full-length review. As I mentioned, it's Felix. We've had the three boats today. This is the last one out of the group of three. We started with Utopia, which was the offshore. Then we went into Southern Belle, the outer reef, and then this finishing it off with Felix, the Grand Banks. Now, Grand Banks have been along for a long time. They're considered a premium boat. They generally charge a lot more for their boat, but they do finish them to a very high standard. They use all top of the line equipment and electronics, sort of mechanical equipment in their boat. So great product. This one's 65 foot. It has the widest beam out of the three that we've seen today. It's incredible. It's almost 20 foot of beam, in fact, from the offshore, which was just over 16 feet, 16 and a half feet, to this, which is 19 feet 10 inches, is incredible. Still around the same length as well. So 65 feet is Felix. 1910 beam. Draft is still fairly competitive. It is the deepest on the drafts out of the three, but not by much. We're in between the shallowest and the deepest. We're only talking probably 6 to 8 inches at the most. Built in 2009, it's also the youngest. That has something to do with the slightly higher price than the other two as well. Semi-displacement hull. This is actually their newer hull design. I believe it was 2008 when they changed all of their hulls to be slightly more of a towards a sort of planing hull shape, not quite sort of in between the two. It's still classed as a semi-displacement hull, but it has much better performance over various speeds, whereas the displacement, the true displacement hull doesn't perform quite as good at the higher speeds. Now this has the highest powered Caterpillar engine that we've seen out of the three today. This is the C18. So I've had the C12, the C15 and the C18. So we've had a full spectrum of Caterpillar engines. They're all fantastic engines. Very fuel efficient with their common rail electronic fuel delivery system that they have on board with these newer engines. This is slightly more fuel than we've seen on the other two boats as well, as far as fuel capacity, and a little bit higher on the water as well, but still all in the same ballpark. Now, of course, if you're going to be rocketing along at 21 knots, then your distances that you can travel is obviously going to be greatly reduced because you're going to be burning so much more fuel. But cruising at 15 to 18 knots, your distances that you can get out of one tank of fuel are still going to be fairly comparable to the other boats. Staterooms, there's 3 staterooms, has a very similar layout to Southern Belle that we saw. It has the master cabin aft next to the engine room with the bed side 2 on the starboard side of the hull. The big difference here, as far as cabins go, is the center cabin. This is actually 2 separate single berths rather than it being a bunk. It's the 2 single berths, and then you have the big queen up forward. So all these rooms feel very spacious. The Grand Banks are very well known for their beautiful interiors. They have nice teak and maple woods that they use throughout here. So it's a very, very eye-catching interior on the Grand Banks. The boat at the moment is here in Dania Beach, so it's very easy to see. We're going to get some people on board in our weekly yacht tours, so if that interests you, then again on the right hand side, the button with the yacht tours label on it, just click on that and let us know what would be the best time for you, and I'm sure we'll be able to squeeze you in. The yacht tours are getting very popular now. They go on every day, so just click on that and you can join us for those. Now, the asking price on this, as I said, is slightly higher than the other 2, partly because of the age, also because of Grand Banks as a builder is a pedigree builder. So the ask is $2,495,000. So let's get started on the photographs. A slightly different take on the interior here. All of the furniture here is freestanding, so that can all be moved around or taken out and changed depending on the new owner's personal preferences. So that is good. It's also nice, you can change around the sort of layout of things in here to how best suits the boat's use at that time. It does have a pop-up TV, which is great to see with the TV lifts out of the cabinet. That's actually on the lower photograph here. It's behind those 2 individual seats there, so it's nice that that's well out of the way. Into the galley and the pilot house. I'll just go back to the main salon there. It's nice on this boat, the double doors at the back there, you can see it on the top photograph. They're actually full-length windows there. Now that's different to the other 2 boats. The other 2 boats were more sort of solid doors with small windows in there. This being full glass, it really adds to the feel of this being very open in here. It's nice neutral tones with the woods and the cream ceiling treatments, but these huge windows really do give it a very open feel. We can see on the floors the teak and holly floors. The pilot station up forwards there, they have new Furuno touchscreens that they use, 14-inch touchscreens. They also have Garmin touchscreens in here, so nice updated electronics and nav equipment. The other thing that's a major difference about this boat compared with the other 2, and it's personal preference here, that is just a different type of layout, but this is much more open plan front to back, and you can really see that on the bottom photograph on the left hand side. You can see all the way through to the back doors there, and that's if you're standing back there at those back doors, you can see right the way up through to these forward-facing windscreens here. So really nice, almost a country kitchen sort of feel, and they still managed to fit in a nice couch there on the starboard side that you can see on the top on the right. So a very nice open feel here. It's not quite as separated as the offshore and the outer reef. It's as I said, personal preference. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just a different type of layout. This is a very nice layout, and I like how they've used the cream, almost off-white couches and seat fabrics here. So the top photograph on the left-hand side, this is of the steps leading up to the flybridge. On the opposite side of the pilot house, there are steps leading down to the guest cabins, and we can see some of the cabins here in the other photographs. This is the master cabin. It's really well appointed, these cabins. They've got lots of detail to the furniture, the drawers and the cupboard doors. There's not much difference between this and the other two boats as far as length goes, particularly compared with this to the outer reef, but you really feel the beam difference here, and that extra foot and a half goes to very good use. You do get slightly more room here, and we saw that a couple of minutes ago when I mentioned that the middle cabin is actually two separate berths rather than a bunk. So here, the master cabin, it has satellite TV throughout the boat. We can see the nice flat screen TV there at the top on the right. You really get the feeling of the width of this cabin at the top on the left there, and that looks through into the bathroom, and a nice, very wide his and hers vanity. They have a separate bathroom and a separate toilet and the shower there as well. The lower photograph on the right, that's the forward VIP, a nice queen berth. The master cabin has the king there. This is a very beautifully sort of appointed cabin. Nice cabinetry and millwork in here. The nice screens that they have covering the portholes. And you'll notice in the ceiling there's actually a skylight there as well, and a hatch. Again, a nice big flat screen TV in here, and a very well appointed bathroom for that cabin as well. This is a 3 head layout, so each cabin has its own ensuite. The double cabin that you can see there on the right hand side at the top, that will share its bathroom with sort of the day head, so you'll have 2 entrance and access points to that bathroom, one from the foyer and one from this cabin. It's not like the the outer reef. It doesn't have a specific day head up on the main deck level. So moving through these onto the exterior, nice big aft deck, teak everywhere down here, beautiful teak table, nice wide aft deck sofa there, and a very big heavy duty staircase leading up to the flybridge, as opposed to the first boat that we saw, the offshore, which was more of a sort of staircase coming down there, or a ladder set up, rather than this nice built-in staircase here. So nice and wide, everything's pretty roomy down here. In fact, I'll go back to there. There you can see our nice big sliding double doors. That's worth mentioning, these are sliding doors, whereas the other boats were hinged doors. So these can operate automatically on sort of location detectors or movement sensors, so that they'll open automatically when you stand in front of the door. It's also an option on the build, whether you have that or whether it's just manually sliding doors. Moving up onto the flybridge, we can see it has a nice solid fiberglass roof there. The seating areas, port and starboard, are identical, similar to what we saw on the outer reef yacht. This also has a nice grill area set up just towards the back of this seating area. It's the same as the outer reef as far as it being sealed off. You can see all the isinglass going all around this. That's great if you have some bad weather and you chose to be up there. You can actually seal it all off and really isolate yourself from that weather. The Portuguese deck up over onto the foredeck, a little seating area there as well. You can see on that photograph on the bottom on the right hand side the hatch in the deck there. That's the hatch that we saw in the ceiling from the forward VIP cabin. And over on the left hand side at the top, you can see there's the grill and the fridge there and a little sink area. What's nice about this boat and isn't on any of the others is you have a little access down to the engine room from this main deck area, and we can see that door, a small door, but a door nonetheless, on the bottom on the left. So moving down into the engine room, it's a nice clean engine room. Everything is very accessible. They've got some pretty high spec equipment in here. The Naiad stabilizers and bow thrusters. They have marine air conditioning, which is the same manufacturer, same as cruise air, that you'll see on the larger motor yachts. And this also has a fuel purifier, which is something that you don't see on many boats of this size, that really go towards helping maintaining the life of the main engines and the generators. A lot cleaner burn as well with those with the purified fuel. Here you can see one of the generators. They have got two generators. They are both 21.5 kilowatts, fairly large generators on board this, bigger than the other two boats that we had seen previously. So nice large output capacity there. And then we can see the layout, the GA, the general arrangement, very similar to the outer reef that we saw with that master cabin, side two on the starboard wall there. This does have a crew cabin. We didn't see it in the photographs, but it does have it aft in the towards the lazarette and the aft end of the engine room there. Now the write-up on board this is very, very detailed. They have huge write-ups here, sort of almost conversational write-ups, and then they go into the individual specs. I won't read this out. Get that yacht pack. All this information will be in there, and you can read through it in your own time. It does pull out a couple of very good points about the equipment that's fitted on board. It goes into detailing some information about the Caterpillar engines, the C18 engines, and the generators as well. So moving into the features, as I mentioned before, the Naiad hydraulic bow thrusters, stern thrusters, and the stabilizers. They do also have the power takeoffs on there, so it doesn't have to be purely run by the power pack. The Seagull water purification system, we have seen that on a couple of boats. It's not a widely used manufacturer that we see on multiple boats, but it is still a pedigree and reliable manufacturer. A bit like the sea recovery systems, that same sort of size of system. The generators on here, they are the Onan generators, whereas the other two boats we saw were the John Deere engines in the Northern Lights. Just as easy to work on. They're all relatively small engines anyway. They're all in the soundproof casing, which is great for reducing the noise that comes out of the engine room. But you pull those casings off and you have full so the 360-degree access to all the parts of the engine that you'll need to get to. Details of the grille on there, all of the LCD TVs, mentions that it has the satellite TV. It mentions the Furuno touchscreens plus the Garmin touchscreens further on in this. The details on the master cabin. It says a large island berth. It is a king-size berth in the forward cabin. It's a queen, and the other two are single berths. So nice, nice big beds. And as you saw in that master cabin, it really feels nice and large down there. Very roomy. The three heads, the three ensuite heads. The fourth stateroom is the crew quarters back aft. Can also be used as guest accommodation as well. It has the ensuite bathroom, just as we saw in the Outer Reef. Unfortunately, we didn't have pictures of it here, but as we saw in the Outer Reef boat, they don't scrimp and save on the outfitting of these cabins. They're still just as nice as the regular guest cabins. Now, this has had a couple of upgrades over the years. We saw some details on the soft furnishings in the Outer Reef that were upgraded. Well, they've had some bits and pieces done to the electronics, the entertainment, and the sort of navigation equipment. So it's nice to know that everything's been kept up with and maintained and brought up to date as and when needed. The electronics here, we can see that Garmin 740 touchscreen that was installed in 2011. A couple of other bits and pieces had been done. The Furunos were new in 2013. I believe this has some bits and pieces done during its haul out to new bottom paint and such that was done a couple of years back. The flybridge, it details here with the grill, the davit. It's a 1,300 pound davit. That's plenty for launching the size tender that would fit on here. As I said, this is quite a detailed write-up, so get that yacht pack and it'll all be in there. Or you can join us for our yacht tours and we'll go on board and we'll be able to walk through with this brochure and really point out and see everything that we need to see. Details the mechanical equipment, the caterpillars, details the deck equipment with all the davits and the ropes. I believe I saw somewhere that it has spare props as well. Has a oil change kit, the automatic manual bilge pumps that are fitted on here, grey tank, holding tank, the black water discharge tanks, and towards the end here it mentions some of the bits and pieces that were upgraded in the haul out. Actually, I said it was a couple of years ago. It's actually March of this year that the bottom paint was fresh. New cutlass bearings, new prop speed that was put on the propellers and the shafts were actually balanced as well. So it's a really great option. It's not hard to see looking through the photographs where a lot of the money goes as far as why this is a more expensive brand than other manufacturers. They're very nice, comfortable feeling in here. It does have a good name to it. It's a pedigree builder. It's going to help you with the resale. As I say to all of the clients that I have, the money that you spend on the purchase, you're going to get back more of your investment when you come to sell with a pedigree builder, as opposed to buying something slightly cheaper now from a less reputable manufacturer and then get back a lot less when you come to sell it, because the depreciation is a lot greater on the less reputable manufacturers than it is with the pedigree manufacturers. So that's something to bear in mind. I actually go through all of this in the books that I have coming out in a couple of weeks' time. We have pricing guides and style guides for flybridge and raised pilot house yachts. The second book is for express cruisers, and then the third book is for trawler style yachts. And we go through all the pricing analysis for boats from 2000 up to the present day in all the size ranges, so you'll be able to see exactly where an individual boat should be as far as price. And we've got some buyers and sellers guides and all great information in there. And of course, if you have one boat in mind or you're curious to see what your boat is worth, then we have our pinpoint price analysis via the yacht pack, and we'll go and we'll pinpoint precisely what that boat is worth in today's market. So lots of great information. Have a cruise around the website, click on all the buttons, see all of the free information that we give you so that you can make the independent, sort of educated and informed decisions for yourselves, rather than relying on a third party's opinion. And we'll help you out with any of your other questions, or moving forwards into buying or selling a yacht. We're here to help out. So thanks for joining us today. Next week we're going to have some great express cruisers for review. 3 great boats from very reputable builders. Very fast boats, good day boats, and they're all within sort of the same size range as these. Were all about 65 feet. So join us for that. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.